Hey guys, welcome back. So today, Bounding into Comics is reporting on a DC announcement of a new character. So according to the article, DC Comics announced their newest Gotham hero named Whistle, who is described by author E. Lockhart as a social activist. Yes, you heard that right. Whistle will make her debut in the upcoming young adult graphic novel Whistle, a new Gotham City hero, with illustrations by Manuel Pretana. Now this is what it looks like. This is the cover. Whistle. Let's learn more about this character. DC Comics describes the young adult graphic novel as a coming-of-age tale about perseverance, heroism, and finding your voice to make change in your community. However, right off the bat, they detail that Lockhart's vision of Gotham is not the one you might find in other DC comics. In this reimagined Gotham City lives 16-year-old Willow Zimmerman, who becomes the superhero Whistle. As her mother struggles with cancer treatments, Zimmerman takes on a number of odd jobs that eventually lead her to a life-altering accident that grants her what DC Comics describes as a sixth sense that they claim is not only a blessing but a curse. Yeah, a sixth sense. E. Lockhart, whose real name is Emily Jenkins, discussed the upcoming graphic novel, stating, "Whistle is a hero like me, like you maybe. She's an ordinary person who sees what's wrong in her city and feels powerless to right it until she isn't." She goes on to state, "Whistle is a social activist, a secular Jewish person, and a teenage girl working to support her mother through sickness, all elements I haven't seen so much in superhero comics." And here's the problem. Here's the problem. I get it. I understand that people should be encouraged to volunteer, to hold their politicians and their elected officials accountable. I get that. You should exercise your rights, your constitutional rights. You should do all of those things, be involved in your community. But when I think of comics, I think of fantasy. I think of escapism. I don't want the real world there. I want superheroes. I want people who are enhanced humans with something a bit more than a sixth sense. And I want them taking down the bad guys. I want them taking down, the bad politicians. I would rather see these figures being destroyed using force in a comic, not petitions and protests. That's not the answer here. That's not what I'm looking for from a comic book. That is something I can see on the news. That is something I could do myself. But the reality is, it's not what we want in our entertainment. And truth be told, part of the reason I think why we look to comics for heroes is because we know all the things that she's describing, all the things that this character will be doing, honestly, aren't even that effective in the real world. We still have corruption in government. We still have corruption in politics, despite people doing exactly what she's doing. These people still do what they want to do when they get into office, while fostering division among people. So the ability to rally behind someone who is literally above it all is what we look for in comics, because we don't see it in the real world. I don't want to see, myself in a comic. I want to see Batman. I want to see Superman. I want to see those people who don't have to deal with the red tape of politics and bureaucracy, who don't have to go out there and protest and rally and hold signs. But let's continue on. Let's learn a little bit more about this character. DC Comics reveals that they will make it very clear that Willow is a social activist, as they detail when she's not on the streets advocating for her community, she's volunteering at the local pet shelter. Okay, that's cute. They also reveal she will have her own sidekick in the form of a stray dog named Lebowitz that follows Zimmerman around and who she will eventually be able to communicate with. That part could be cool. Not only will Gotham City be reimagined, but DC Comics also reveals that Lockhart will be putting her unique spin on a few iconic characters from Batman's mythos. Oh Lord. I don't know what that means, but I guess we'll see. Lockhart reveals those characters include Killer Croc, the Riddler, and Poison Ivy. She states, Whistle has to ally herself with the best of Gotham's criminal underworld in order to understand the forces that threaten her home neighborhood. DC let me pick from the incredible gallery of Gotham's rogues, characters I grew up reading about. It was a thrill to write Killer Croc, the Riddler, and most fun of all, Poison Ivy. I'm concerned, y'all. I'm concerned already. DC Comics explains that the Riddler will be Willow's uncle named Edward, who she turns to in order to make some extra income in order to help pay for her mother's cancer treatment. Her uncle's jobs include her hosting private poker nights with Gotham's elite. She eventually has an encounter with Killer Croc outside of the local synagogue that leaves both her and Levelwood injured. After waking up, they both gain the ability to communicate with each other as well as other unnamed developments. Okay, she can talk to animals. With these new abilities, she kicks her activism into high gear and believes she can really save the world. However, she will be faced with a tough choice when she discovers that her uncle and his friends are actually some of Gotham's biggest criminals. She will have to choose between staying loyal to her uncle, who allowed her to keep her family together, or further embrace her activism. I just don't understand here why the dilemma couldn't simply be between her role as a new hero as she comes into that character, as she gains these powers, whatever they are, and starts to use them. Why can't it simply be between being a hero and being a villain? Just have this happen, have her be a normal kid who has this accident, whatever it is. She gains these new abilities. She believes she can use them to help her community, which is what a hero does. And then she learns about her family's ties to the criminal underworld. And then she has this dilemma. To me, that's a much better story. It doesn't have to be rooted in real-world politics. The graphic novel is expected to hit comic book shelves on May 11, 2021. It will retail at $16.99. What do you guys think? Is this a character that you're really interested in? I really questioned starting the story off in this very real-world context, and I also question promoting it this way. She's not special simply because she chooses to look out for her community. That's something that people do all the time. It's something people do every day. And many of the people who choose to do that are tired. We don't want to read about it in a book, especially a comic book. So it's going to turn a lot of people off, I think. And that's a shame because it seems like it will have some interesting conflict with her family. But hey, those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Thanks for watching. Remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time.